Welcome to the 18th session of Communicative. I am Dr. Archana Durgesh from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, BVD University. By far, we have covered two modules on the speaking and the writing skills, on the reading skills, comprehension and communication. Right now, we are on module 3. I have already told you about speaking skills, I've told you about monologue, I've told you about dialogue. Now, what I am going to discuss today is GD, group discussion. Group discussion is a very important exercise. And please don't confuse it with employability. Though it is a very major part of employability, it is one of the criteria. But sometimes it is used in the field of academics even. Because your perspective skill, your thinking on the spot is judged by GD. Now, without wasting any time, I will start sharing the notes. I'll tell you about what is a GD, how can you excel in a GD. There are certain golden rules you have to follow. If you want to be a good communicator, if you want to turn out to be successful, we'll begin. Now, today we are beginning with what is group discourage. You may call it process or a group activity. Now, before you move ahead, you must understand that it's a group activity. It is one of the best tools to select the prospective candidates in a comparative perspective. Like if I have 20 candidates for a position for which I need only 2 or 3 people, what will I do? I have two options. Either I should interview all the 20 people, which is nearly out of question because there might be 20, there might be more than 50, 60 people as the scene of unemployment is there. So for a position, sometimes the ratio is very outnumbered. So what we do is that instead of interviewing all the candidates, we interview only the prospective. So what is the exercise? We just make a group of 5 or 10 people, and with two groups we conduct a GD. GD is a group discussion, and out of those candidates, in comparison, we take out the prospective candidates. GD may be used by an interviewer at an organization, college, or even at different types of management conferences. Now, if you think that it's only a concept of employability, then it's not there. It can be used by an organizer even, interview at an organization. There are so many things that we come across each day. We can use them. What we do, that we make a group of 5 or 10 people. Okay, now I have made two groups, group A and group B. One group is chosen to speak for the topic, and the other one for against the topic. And then a topic is given. Now the topic, if it's an academic procedure, then the GD, before the GD commences, there are certain minutes that are given, maybe 30, maybe 20, as per the requirement, and then the topic is given on the spur of a moment. And you are given 20 to 25 minutes, sometimes even 30 minutes to prepare that GD along with your team. Now, that is an ice-breaking session basically because people don't know each other. For example, if I say that there are 5 people from Lucknow, 5 people from Kanpur, 5 people from Delhi, 5 from Mumbai, 6 from Bangalore, some from Chennai. So, how will you know each other? Those 20-30 minutes are basically the ice-breaking session. You can communicate with your team, you can know each other, and you can prepare how will you put forward your GD, how will you launch it. Okay, it can be a management competition even. So you have to be well prepared that it can be academic even, and it can be managerial even, and it can be organizational. Now, GD is a methodology used by an organization to gauge whether the candidate has certain personality traits, skills that the organization desires in its prospective candidates or members. Like suppose if I need somebody to lead the marketing team, then what do I need somebody for marketing? Somebody very convincing, somebody of on the spot thinking, somebody who's very convincing, who's very communicative, who's very skillful, who play with words, who's very motivating. So these are all the things that a person of marketing is needed. These are the traits. These are the desirabilities of a marketing person. So if I want to see these, I will give such a topic which is actually touching all these perspectives. And I will ask the GD to be conducted after maybe 20 minutes. And some expert will sit there to judge you. Now, please remember that GD is a situation where you have to give your best. But please remember not to let down others. You are there to prove your forte. You are there to prove your excellence, not to prove that somebody doesn't deserve to be here. Please don't do that. Now, in the methodology, the group of candidates is given a topic or a situation and given a few minutes to think about the same, and then asked to discuss the topic among themselves for 15-20 minutes. Now, if you want, you can just see to it that it is very useful skill uh, for a potential candidate to have. Unless and until you are able to discuss on a certain topic, your perspectives, your horizons are not widened. Discussion on something makes a ready man. You know, like reading makes you very effective, writing makes you exact, but discussion makes you ready. On the basis of your discussion, on the basis of the GD that you have participated in, the kind of arguments that you have put forward, the way you have put forward, because I've already told you that the non-verbal communication is more important than the verbal communication. Your communication skill will be judged in accordance with the non-verbal skill, because what you say is important, but how you say is more important. So don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a rush to prove your excellence, because you may hurt others. And this is what not the kind of skill the organization wants in his or her employees. GD is an evaluation done by the subject expert based on the discussion. A report will be prepared on analyzing the facts at the end of the discussion. Now, if you are given 15-20 minutes to speak, you have a chance to dominate the whole conversation, the whole discussion. But just see to it that you even let others speak. That doesn't mean that you will take your turn and you won't let others speak at all. Because GD is even, as the word suggests, a group discussion. Group has to be involved. There are certain personality traits the GD is trying to gauge may include. Like, for example, if you are in a GD, you're participating in a GD, there are certain personality traits you'll have to inculcate. Communication skills. Communication skills are of utmost importance. What you communicate and how you communicate is really very important. Communication is the soul of everyday life. Interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills we have already discussed at length. Interpersonal skills are basically between two people, how you communicate with two or more people, and then leadership skills. Now, if you emerge as a leader, please remember that the leader is always very chivalrous, very helpful. The leader is not at all insulting. The leader is not demotivating. The leader is somebody who takes a stand for his team. And nobody is appointed a leader that, okay, XYZ, you are the leader of the GD. No, you emerge as one. When you stand up, when you take the lead and you say, may I open the discussion? And if somebody else is taking up the wants to open the discussion, you can very chivalrously say, okay, please open the discussion. I will follow. That doesn't make you a follower. That makes you a chivalrous leader. That you are giving a chance to somebody else to speak. Motivational skills. You can motivate somebody with action and with words. Like suppose somebody from your team is trying to say something, or maybe from the other team is trying to say something, and your teammate is interfering, and vice versa, somebody else from the other team is interfering. You can stand up, take a stance, and say, "Excuse me, gentlemen, can you please let the lady speak?" Now, here you will not only emerge as a leader, but you are motivating somebody to take a stand for themselves. You are telling them that you should participate, you must speak, forward your opinion. And now, please remember that chivalry is not only an ornament of the man, it is even an ornament of the woman. It's not that only man can be chivalrous, a woman can even be chivalrous. If you are giving a seat to somebody in the bus, then you are even chivalrous. Chivalry is not the ornament of the men. Team building skills. Now, when you were into ice breaking activity, you should have built up the team. If you have that skill, you would have already built it. Your team is already built up. Why? Because you have that skill. You have brought them together. You have given them the chance to speak, given them the opportunity to explain themselves. You have took a stand for them. You have protected their rights. You have given them the opportunity to express themselves. Analytical and logical skills. Like, you should analyze and logically put forward. Don't babble anything. Don't just start blabbering. Analyze the situation. Analyze what topic has been given to you and lay that argument in a very logical way. Now, I am going to share a very golden rule with you. If you want to win a GD, please think what you have to say. Stage of ideation is very important. You have to analyze the situation and then logically put the situation. But you should even think what other can put forward, what the other team, the opponent team can put forward. Because in that case, if you think beforehand, you will be able to break their uh, thinking even. You will be able to answer back their logical skill, their logical point. Reasoning ability. As I've already told you, unless and until you think what's going on in the other's mind, if you have this ability, you will be able to know it. You have this reasoning ability. Okay, if I'll say this, they'll say this. If they say this, what will I say? Then now that is reasoning. You should be well prepared. What I am going to say is important, but what you are going to say is more important. I will think from your perspective, even if I want to win the GP. That okay, if such a such point comes over, he will say this. And if somebody says this, I will counter attack with this. Now that is reasoning ability. You must think that way, out of the box. That is different thinking. Thinking out of the box. Don't think what others will think. Think what you can think with a difference. Think differently. Think out of the box. Don't pay attention to normal things. What is apparent? Don't think about the apparent. Think about something which is out of the way, which people won't be able to think. Initiative. Now, initiative is really very important. If you're not initiating the GD, you will face a lot of trouble. Somebody else can emerge as a leader. Now, again, I would like to make a correction here. That if you take the initiative of conducting the GD, that doesn't make you the leader. There are other things which will make you leader when you are motivational, when you really act like a leader, when you respect others, when you let others speak, even when you are very humble with the opponent team, when you are very assertive, when you are flexible. These all things make you a leader. You put forward your opinion with affirmation. You think out of the box. That's what makes you a leader. Be assertive. Don't be dilly-dally. Don't be like maybe, may not be. You have to be very assertive with whatever you say. Even if you are saying a wrong thing, be assertive. But yes, it may be flexible, but don't be rigid. You have to be flexible because if you have to work in an organization, you should be very flexible. Rigidity won't take you anywhere. Always remember, the trees who have stood erect are first to fall in the storm. And those who have swayed with the wind will always survive. Remember the Darwin theory, the survival of the fittest. If there is a raging storm, please wave yourself. Please move with the wind so that you don't break. But if you will stand erect, you will be first to fall. So be flexible. Try and think on the spot and then put your point forward. Be very creative. Even in a GD, you can start with the storyline, with a small anecdote. You can quote an incident even. Last but not the least, ability to think on one's feet. As I've told you, on the spot thinking is really very important. It's a skill, it's an art. You will need it unless and until you know how to deal with people, how to think on the spot. You won't be able to do it. And how can you inculcate this ability to think on one's feet? By reading. Read as much as you can. If you are about to appear for your civil services, you must read the newspaper. You must read the right kind of paper. You should have the ability to think on one's feet. Once I was going through the questions and a lady was asked, "Did you come by lift or by stairs?" The lady answered, "I came by stairs." How many stairs were there? She said 86. The interviewer said, "No, there are 108." She said very beautifully. She said, "Sir, I was busy thinking about today's performance. My attention was not on something so menial. How many stairs are there or not hardly makes any difference. How I firmly put my step forward, that is more important." Another interviewer asked, again a lady, "If I take you out for dinner," she very beautifully said, "Hmm, there is no harm. I can go out for a dinner with you on a dinner date. Said, won't your husband mind?" Why would my husband mind? If you are just like a father figure to me. So why would he mind? I can go with my father. Now, this is the ability to think on one's feet. You should not be, nervous. You should think of the best option that you can think of. Give a very beautiful answer, but don't be rude. You are not supposed to be rude. Remember, communication makes you subtle. It doesn't make you rude. Essential steps to preparation and presentation. Now, if somebody is making a presentation, somebody is making a GD, what should one do in a GD? Do's and don'ts of group discussion. Keep eye contact while speaking. Do not look at the evaluators only. Keep eye contact with every team member while speaking. It has with a very academic kind of a GD in a class. What happens is he starts addressing me. You don't have to address me. You have to address your team. You have to take me in the loop. You have to consider me as one of the audience. I am evaluating you, but that doesn't make me more important than other audience. You have to think about others even, be receptive to them even. You have to take them into your eye view. You're not supposed to leave them out. Chronomics, I've already told you, it's a very important and beautiful communication. With eyes, you can communicate a lot. You can show how rigid you are, how flexible you are, how creative you are, with how much conviction you are speaking, how much affirmation is there. Your tone is even responsible, but your eye contact is really very important. You cannot look at the floor, you cannot look into the air, you cannot look at some wall or painting or all the wall clock, or to me who's evaluating you. Please look at the audience. I am one of the audience. Don't just target me. Target everybody, even your team, the opponent team, and the evaluator. Next thing, what a GD participant should do to win the GD is initiate it. Initiating a GD is a big plus. But don't make a desperate plunge. I've already told you what's a desperate plunge is. So don't take a desperate plunge. Keep this in mind that you will have a chance. But if you are going to initiate the GD, if you are the first person to speak, make sure that it is very effective. Keep it in mind that initiating the GD group discussion is only a thing when you have understood the GD topic clearly and have some topic knowledge. If you have understood the topic and if you have command over that topic, then only initiate. Otherwise, without having proper subject knowledge, it will have a bad impression on the people, on the team even. The team will think that you have initiated, you were trying to emerge as a leader, and the leader is so weak. The opponent team will get a chance to sabotage you. And even in the view of the evaluator, you will fall back. Don't create a bad impression about it. Initiate only when you have good command over the subject. If you don't have it, leave it. Let some other person initiate. Let two, three people speak. Get the crux of the topic. Let and observe the expressions of the expert. Whether the expert is being very positive or is being very negative, or the person is being like giving an expression that people have not understood at all. Try and evaluate what your team has spoken and when the opponent team has spoken. And then on the basis of that analysis, put forward your next thing. You should remember it's chivalry. Allow others to speak. Do not interrupt anyone in between while speaking. It's bad manners. You will get negative marks. Even if you don't agree with him or her, you have to give them a chance. You cannot snatch their chance. Instead, make notes, clear the point when it's your turn. Or when he ends or she ends, you can raise your hand and you can say, here I would like to differ. I would like to put forward my opinion on what my friend just now said. Be very polite. Be very humble. It's not a cutthroat competition. It's not that who will survive. Remember, it's a win-win position for you if you'll allow others to speak. If you're humble to them, humility always pays because people are looking for sharp people. People are looking for somebody who can think on the toes, somebody who can be very creative, who can think out of the box. But nobody wants a very disrespectful or ill-mannered person who just tries and puts word in the opponent's mouth. Don't do that. Don't punch words in the opponent's mouth. Don't twist and turn and let them speak. Don't speak in between. Jot down points. That is more important. Maybe you will get a better opportunity once you will let them finish. If the person completely expresses his or her view, you may get a very good point and you have stopped him. That won't made your point very strong. So wait for the opportunity. Let him finish. Let her finish. And then very humbly raise your hand and politely say, I would like to put forward my opinion on what my friend just said. And with affirmation, with full confidence, speak out how you felt it was wrong. How will you prove him wrong? Because that's going to give you positive marks. But if you speak in between, you'll get a negative marking. And if you fail to listen completely, you may end up making a fool out of yourself because you have interrupted him. The whole thing was not said. You have not understood what he wanted to say, and you have spoken before time. That will give you another negative marking. One negative marking for speaking in between, and second negative marking for not understanding the whole concept and speaking out of it. Okay, so now we'll move forward to the next point. That is speaking clearly. Speak politely and clearly. Use simple and understandable words while speaking. Don't be too aggressive if you are disagreeing with someone. Express your feelings calmly and politely. Now, suppose if there is a huge table around the conference table you are standing, please try and understand it's a group discussion, it's not a debate. So don't start banging the table like you did at school. You're not supposed to do that. It's impolite. If you even disagree with somebody, don't be aggressive. Be very polite. Be very clear. Use simple and understandable words. Don't use such a vocabulary with what others can don't understand. They won't be able to, if they are not able to understand, then the GD won't move forward. And if you feel that you will show your good vocab, then the team leaders may even think that if we hire this person, if this person will speak in such terminologies, such jargon, such difficult vocabulary, that even our client will not be able to understand because everybody is not good at English. Everybody may not have the same kind of command that you have. Maybe the kind of size of vocabulary that you have, others may not have it. So be very humble. Be you be very communicative, and being communicative means being understandable by the receiver. What's the point in communicating when the receiver is not understanding? Why should I use such words to make you feel very low, to belittle you? I'm not there to belittle you. I am there to express my views. And what's the point in explaining and putting forward my point when people are not able to understand it? Don't be aggressive. Be. I'm not asking you to be submissive even. I'm not asking you to be aggressive even. I'm trying to tell you to maintain that balance, that psychological balance, which will reflect in your communication. Try and put forward your opinion with affirmation, but not with aggression. There is a slight line of difference, a very thin difference between being affirmative and aggressive. You will start banging the table, that shows your aggression. You have a sharp body language, that shows your aggression. You have tight shoulders, that shows your aggression. You have a your jaws have tightened, that shows your aggression. You have a piercing glance, that shows your aggression. You have, when we press our eyes and look at the power zone of somebody. Power zone, I explained you the power zone. That is the forehead, the nose. Sometimes the mouth is not involved in it. The power zone, especially the forehead. Please don't give a piercing glance to somebody on the forehead. You are giving them a power gaze. Don't do that. Be amiable. Take whatever is the whole face into consideration. Have mildness in your eyes. I told you, chronomics is really very important. You communicate a lot with your eyes. Please try and understand. You are communicating, people are watching you. They are deciphering the meaning of each and every action that you are into it. Because action speaks louder than words. Non-verbal communication is more loud than your words. Please see to it that you express your feelings calmly and politely. Don't shout on top of your lungs. Somebody once told me that you must add weight to your argument and not to your volume. Yes, don't raise your volume. You're not there to shout on top of your lungs. You are just there to put forward your opinion. And you can express your feelings very calmly and politely and speak very clearly. Don't mumble jumble the words, because mumbo jumbo is something that nobody understands. You babble inside your mouth, nobody will be able to make any sense. And if you think that this way you will win, you won't, because the experts are not even able to understand what you are trying to say. Okay, so be very understandable, use good vocabulary, don't be aggressive, be very calm and polite. Now, next, the other things that you need to keep in mind to win a GD is that you make sure you bring the discussion on track. Sometimes it happens that the discussion goes off track. If by any means group is distracting from the topic or goal, then simply take the initiative to bring back the discussion on the track. For example, if you are asked to speak on violence against women, and somebody starts saying that these days women are working and they are stepping out of their house, that is why they are facing so many issues. Now you raise your hand politely, calmly, and say, my dear friend, we were supposed to discuss on crime against women, atrocities done on women. We are not here to discuss whether should women work or not, because for your kind and gentle information, women face more violence, more atrocities at home. What do you think about domestic violence? What do you think? What is your take on the disrespect women receive at their place, at the hands of their in-laws, their husband, the kind of subjection that they have been facing throughout their life, even through centuries? It is in the history that woman has been known by her father, by brother, by husband, or by son. How many women have been allowed to make their own position and stand in the society? Are you telling me that women are not raped at home, and they are only raped when they come out in the workplace? and when they are returning back from workplace, then they are uh, raped or they are stalked. Not no, are the women not stalked when they stand on their balcony or on Facebook or on Twitter? Don't they get prank calls on mobile, or they get any prank calls on landline? Bring back the topic on track. Make sure that discussion goes on. Now, again, if you bring back the topic on track, you will emerge as a leader. That's a win-win situation. You will get positive marks. Make all group members aware that you all need to come to some conclusion at the end of the discussion. So stick to the topic. Tell them, remind them that we are in a time frame. We have to end this GD. We have to reach some conclusion. We cannot just dilly dally and keep on discussing this for 5 hours. There are others even who are waiting for their turn. There are other teams who are waiting in the lounge. Everybody is running out of time, and time is very important. Time is money, and money is time. This is again a very win-win situation. When you bring back the discussion on time, when you talk about the value of time, that again gives you a positive, that gives you an add-on benefit. Why? Because the if I am the expert, I will feel, wow, that's something very important. One should keep the thing of time even in mind. Time is really very important. He is giving importance to his time and others' time even. Very nice. Plus one. So stick to the top. Next, have a positive attitude. Please. Since childhood, you are being told with positive attitude, half the battle is won. Be positive. Be confident. Now, there is a perspective of looking at things. There is a half glass of water. You can say that it's half empty. You can say it's half full. And you can even say, now there is scope to fill it full. This is the third perspective, that you can add water so that it can brim to the top. ग्लास खाली है, ग्लास आधा भरा है, अब मैं इसको और भर सकता हूँ. ये पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड है. You have to have that positivity in you. Do not try to dominate anyone. Please do not try to dominate. People will get, nervous, and it will give you a negative marking. Don't try and dominate. Keep your body language very positive. Show interest in the discussion. When your body language is being watched. For example, if you think that expert is looking at the opponent and you are not being given attention, please look around. You are on CCTV. Or maybe there is a small camera that you are not able to see. Please see to it that you are under observation the moment you step in the organization. There are so many cameras that you will be able to see, and so many cameras you won't be able to see. There are so many things. Even somebody from the participant can be an expert. If you think that somebody who's participating is not there in the GP, is not an expert, he might be an expert. He might be your boss, immediate boss. He thought that the best way to judge a person is to sit in the GD along with the participant. What if that is there? Show your positive body language. Show your positivity and feel positive. Unless and until you feel positive, you feel confident, you won't be able to do that. Because whatever we feel, it reflects. I told you about that feeling even, no? That feeling positive and feeling negative. I told you an anecdote about Akbar and Birbal. You remember? Yes. Remember that. Show interest in the discussion. Don't give a sloppy body language. Don't just, slip in the chair. Sit erect. Don't make dirty facial expressions. Don't rub your forehead as if somebody is talking nonsense. Control your body language. Okay? The next point is that we should keep in mind is speak sensibly. Do not speak just to increase your speaking time. Don't worry even if you speak less. Your thoughts should be sensible and relevant instead of irrelevant. Instead of blabbering, as I told you, instead of blabbering all the time, speak less. But speak the golden words. Don't just increase your speaking time. Nobody is marking you on that out of 20 minutes, he spoke for 5 minutes, the others one speak for 3, 2, 1, and 30 seconds. Maybe somebody who spoke for just 1.5 seconds, 1.5 minutes, maybe the winner of the GD because he spoke sense. Your thoughts should be sensible, relevant instead of irrelevant. As I told you, you have to go through the stage of ideation. Please don't forget, ideation is really very important. You are not supposed to utter irrelevant speech. Give what is sensible. That is what they are looking for. Somebody who can communicate well, who can win a situation, who can express his or herself in a very beautiful manner. Because everything, every working of an organization depends upon your communication. How you put forward your ideas and opinions because you are a representative of your organization. You are a brand ambassador of yourself and of course the brand that you are representing. Initially, when you are not hired, you are a brand ambassador of your own self. With your language, with your sensibility, you will show from which background, what kind of education, experience, and environment you come from. Please see to it. Don't make irrelevant speech. Don't waste your time and others' time because this will give you a negative mark. Next, listen carefully to others. When we began our sessions, remember I told you about being very sensible all the time, being a very good listener. Didn't I tell you that you have to be a very good listener? Listening is really very important. You know, you listening is the first stage of learning a language. LSRW, listening, reading, speaking, and writing. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So listen carefully to others. Speak less, listen more. Because as I told you earlier, even if you have not understood the topic, stay mum. Let others speak. Let three from your team out of 10, 3, 4, 5, let them speak. Let the 5, 6 opponents speak. And when you have accumulated enough knowledge on the topic, then put forward your opinion. Emerge as a leader. Listen carefully. Pay attention while others are speaking. As I told you, what you are going to say is important, but what others will say or are saying is more important. Don't think about your topic or your point. You can even negate or counter attack on their point. So listen to them carefully. This will make coherent discussion. Coherent means related discussion, and you will get involved in the group positively. If you listen to somebody carefully, for example, I am unable to think on what should I say, but somebody says something which I don't find pertinent. I can politely raise my hand and say, I don't agree with you, dear friend. Here, I would like to put forward my opinion on to counter attack. And then you make a very sensible counter. Now, the discussion becomes very coherent, related. Why? Because you have related one point to the other, and the discussion will move forward and you will get involved in the group positively because the team feels that very good. We were saying what we felt, but this person made a counter attack. And for counter attack, there are more points. You will surely make people agree with you. This way, you will make others fall at your opinion, at your argument, and this will get you a win-win situation. No need to go into much detail. Now, some basic subject analysis is sufficient. No need to mention exact figures while giving any reference. For example, if I'm telling you a statistics on crime against women, I need not to be very specific. I need not to tell you what is the source of my knowledge. I may say approximately. I read somewhere. You have limited time, so be precise and convey your thoughts in short and simple language. Again, we have come to the point of the same concept as I told you earlier. Yes, keep it short and sweet. Put because the time is less. You have to be very precise. You cannot give a elaborative discussion on that topic. You're not there to lecture people. You are there to discuss on a particular point and reach a conclusion in a couple of minutes, maybe 15 or 20. Common dress. The last, but one of the most important. Do not take it casually. No fancy and funny dressing. Yes. No fancy dressing, even for females. If you are going for an interview or an academic discussion, wear the national uniform, that is sari. And if you are going for your college discussion, college interview, or college viva voce, please wear your uniform. Please be immaculately dressed up in a proper uniform. Now, if you have white shirt and black blue trouser or jeans, please see to it when you are coming for a viva or a academic presentation, don't wear jeans. It's considered casual. Wear a blue trouser. Wear a proper white shirt. Please don't wear something very fashionable or some network or t-shirt or something of that sort. Please be immaculately dressed up. You should be comfortable while speaking in the group. Positive gesture and body language will make your work more easy. If you are formally dressed up, it'll give you a crisp edge. You will get an additional point for this. If somebody is casually dressed up, it will give them a negative point. So if you must be very good at mathematics, if you are getting +1 and somebody is getting -1, so what is the difference of marks? 2. So please always dress up more formally than required. You can wear a shirt, a proper trouser, proper shoes, proper belt, proper tie, or scarf even. Women can dress up in sari, even in salwar kameez or legging and kurti with a proper dupatta. No funky jewelry, no big danglers. Make sure that you have small ear studs. We can discuss dressing in detail even, and I can share notes on dressing too, separately if you wish, for your personal point of view. But here, please remember that follow the formal dress. A book should not be judged by its cover. The first impression is always the last impression, but it's not always that. But remember, before listening to you, before hearing you out, people see you. Your dressing is really very important. So make sure that you dress up immaculately, you dress up formally, more formally than required, because you can cut down on the formality, but you cannot increase the formality. So suppose if I see people are not wearing a necktie, I can remove that, fold it and keep it in my pocket or in my bag. But I cannot buy a tie on the spot and put it on. So make sure that you are formally dressed up. You're very precise. You're very clear. You're very chivalrous. You're very polite. You're very articulate. You think on the spot. Listen to others. Speak when your turn comes. Take the initiative. Be affirmative, but don't be dominant. Don't be rude. Be very empathetic. It always wins. The empathy factor always makes you a winner. But have command over your subject. Subject command is really very important. You should have the knowledge, increase the horizon of your knowledge. The more knowledge you will have, the more subtle you will become, the more polite you will become, the more soft spoken you will become. The more knowledgeable person, the more humble the person. Always remember this. Take care. We'll meet soon in another session. Thank you so much. Take care. Goodbye.